good, y'all? What's poppin'? Another day and another podcast with my man Milz CK.
CK.
What's up with you, bro?
Hey, not a lot. Another day.
Another day. How's South Carolina treating
Hey,
you, bro?
same stuff, new day.
New
Nothing
day.
changed. I'm just waiting. I know you're dealing with snow right now up in the
Yeah,
north, so
yeah.
it's really cold for you. But I have acclimated to the southern climate, so now like 40 degrees. I'm freezing over here. Like I'm ready for that spring weather.
You ready for that spring? Yeah, nah. I'm cool. Nah, it's cold up here, but nah, this is my perfect weather, brother. I can't be with all that. I don't want it too hot. Spring I don't mind as far as temperature. But my allergies, though, bro,
Yeah,
I can't, I
same.
can't, I be getting cooked with my allergies, man. So, but ultimately, we here, we in for another episode, man. So, what's on your mind today, brother? What we talking about, man? You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, rev me up, get me activated, bro.
All right. All right. But first, before I set you up this alley oop, I'm going to just want to put in the disclaimer to protect our licenses that even though we are licensed professional counselors, everything that we're saying here is entertainment and educational purposes, and this is not to replace any sort of treatment. But if you need that, Google search psychology today,
911.
911
Yeah.
if it's intense, but this is not treatment.
Yeah. I mean, you may feel like you in a session, though. That's the whole point. But yeah, to your point, this ain't treatment, brother. All right.
So let me set you up. Something that I was thinking about earlier this week, and I've been thinking about this topic for a while now, because I think this word is being used way too much when it comes to toxic masculinity. I hear that word all the time in different settings, whether it's a conversation with friends, whether I'm at a restaurant just trying to enjoy my food, and these people are talking about it behind me. And so as it relates to the culture, I think of the image of the strong black man, and then I think on the other side of that coin of, is it a strong black man, or is there a silent sufferer? Because sometimes when we put up those walls and build that fortress around us, sometimes it's just us lonely in there.
Yeah.
And we are meant to have our solitude, but we're not meant to be alone.
Yes.
So that's just something that's been floating around in my mind these days, and I thought, let me bring this to Mills and see what he got to say about it.
You want to hear what I got to say? I mean, we could take this from so many different angles, but I don't want to. Damn. It's so much to say with that. I mean, obviously, us being black men, also us being black male therapists, I think that there is a distinct difference in how you said it was a silent sufferer, a man, not even black men, just men in general, you know what I'm saying, but especially black men, that silent sufferer. And what was the other way you put it, though? On the other side of silent sufferer, you said?
The strong black man.
The strong black man. Okay. All right. I got you.
Whether it's the ideal of the strong black man, or the mask of the strong black man that some try to wear.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So, I mean, what I would say on that, and I'm going to just utilize our culture, right? Society, culture, even family. So much to say on this, man. But basically, we view true masculinity, and when I say we, I just say the culture, African American culture. You can speak this to other cultures, but we African American. Well, You Nigerian, but it's probably the same in your culture too. But I say
Hey,
all this to
I'm
say,
Nigerian American.
all right, Nigerian, you black. All right, cool. You know,
We black.
all right, yeah, you black. All right, so we'll say that, right? So we view masculinity or strength and masculinity as, being this macho man, not crying, not even expressing yourself, emotionally, not opening up your deepest, your darkest fears, that, like that phrase, skeletons in the closet, right? We view it as just head down, you gotta grind, you gotta, push through, and, we have this mentality of this lone wolf mentality. No one's coming to save us. We don't ask for help. You're not a man if you don't figure this out your own. You don't need nobody and all this, that, and the third, right? Like, you a man, so you need to solve it. And we ingrain that in reality. Like, I'm a firm believer everything starts in the home. We ingrain that in our children, especially our young boys. We teach our young boys to grow up, to have this mentality that, yes, you band with your homies or whatever, but even then, it's on you at the end of the day. Your homies ain't gonna be there to save you. When you make it, you bring your homies along with you, but it's pretty much a every man for himself. It's survival mentality that even always goes back into, slavery. That's the mental exhaustion and hurdles that we have to do each and every day. And I just find that when it comes to this whole view of this masculinity, you hit the nail right on the head when you said silent suffer. We suffer in silence, not only because we want, it's not a thing that we want to, it's that we feel as though we don't have any outlets or resources, even when it's in front of us. Prime example, we have, it's easy to say, we have our women. Black, blue, green, purple, white, doesn't matter. Women are the nurturers, natural nurturers. They're the natural cultivators and maintainers of that masculinity and that strength. You know what I'm saying? Look at our mothers. Those our moms who have raised, they nurtured us. They were the first examples of a nurturing woman, that softness, that warmth. With our fathers, though, you gotta be strong. You gotta be that man. You know what I'm saying? Like that ain't the dad's job. That ain't the man's job. You know what I'm saying? The man is supposed to go out there and get all to it and grind, be on the grind. But more so, a lot of that emotional vulnerability, a lot of that emotional availability came from the side of the moms or the women. You know what I'm saying? So when bringing it back to the men, not only do we don't want to suffer in silence, but we don't even know how to be vulnerable to where it's accepted enough to where we're not being judged or shamed. There's a lot of judgment, there's a lot of shame amongst peers, our peers as men, the culture, family, society, that a man crying is viewed as a woman trait. Oh, that like it's a genetic thing. Oh, crying, you a woman. Oh, you soft. Oh, quit being a punk. You know what I'm saying? I could go on with some other words, but you know what I'm saying? But you know where I'm going with it. And we view this as a character flaw. We view this and take this and hold it. It's like, nah, I can't cry. I don't cry. I can't. And ultimately, we suffer. We don't even know. We're ultimately like children. We feel things that we don't even know how to express, because we fear the judgment, we fear the shame. So, like I said, there's so much I could go on it, but I'm gonna let you jump in, bro. You know what I'm saying? I already kind of set it up, but go ahead, man.
Yes. So you hit on like something I really enjoyed there, where like we are feeling things that we don't know how to express, and I think that once again, it's sort of a byproduct of just like our environment and our like conditions of like going back like to our family, of what we saw from just observation of like the nurturing and the caring, the emotions like coming from like our sisters, our mothers, and then our fathers were more of that stern, that rock that like that held everything together, and that's like that's what we like internalize there. And so when we have these like emotions, we have these feelings, and we don't have words to describe them or even describe them in general, sometimes they take form in anger, rage, like frustration and annoyance, and then that leads into the behaviors that follow those sort of emotions.
The ticking time bomb.
Yeah. And it's that part, like, especially it's as a clinician, and this is open to like all like races, just like men in general.
Yeah.
When sometimes, like, as cliche as it sounds, like, what do you feel when that happens? And the look on their faces, and some, like, I'm not gonna lie, sometimes I do this myself as a mental health clinician. It takes me like a longer period of time to like come up with what is that feeling compared to my female clients, where immediately they have 10 words to describe the way that we feel instantly. And not all women, just just like comparing to my male clients, where there's that pause there, and sometimes that pause leads to like, I'm not sure, or the very vague terms like good and bad.
Yeah.
And that leads me into like talking about, like, you mentioned like not having an outlet, and I challenge that. Is like a lot of times there's outlets there, but we choose the ineffective outlets.
That's
and
true.
And this goes to something that we talked about previous episodes: sex, money, and drugs.
Yep.
And
drugs and cash, baby.
yeah. And so sometimes that is what's turned to the outlet. To each their own, and not saying that's entirely right, wrong, good, or bad, though. That leads to like more of the masking or more of the walls, instead of actually addressing the hurt, the suffering that we are experiencing.
Well, I mean, I would say too, bro. Well, what I did say, it's good that you challenged that. You brought up a good point, but also, I can't remember the exact words I used, but what I was trying to say is that although yes, we even know that these resources are available, at least now in this day and age. You know, maybe a couple years, 10 years back, whatever. But because of the judgment, because of the shame, we have a limited lens in view of where we're going to take it out, because that's not what a man does. A man doesn't go to therapy. I'm going to keep it 100. And I joke, especially with my male clients all the time. I'm like, I ask them the question, especially on their intake session. I'm like, yo, have you ever done therapy before? And they usually be like, 9 times out of 10, it's either no, it's court related. You know, there was court mandated, sessions.
Partner related.
Or that's what I'm saying. It's couple counseling. They women drag them to the session.
Yep.
Women will drag, not all the time, because I got some other cases too, but 9 times out of 10, women will drag your ass to the therapy session. We need to communicate. We need to fix it. We're having issues and stuff. And I'm like, yo, like, and I tell them, you gotta want to do it for yourself. And a lot of times they'll be like, well, I'm not opposed to therapy. My question is, why you ain't tried then? Well, I mean, it's always an excuse. And I say all this to say, I'm not getting on anybody and things like that. Everybody got their life, but it goes back to like, we know these resources are available, but we shame, we judge. It's not man enough. Like, I'm not talking about that. And a lot of times, a lot of men, especially the black man, we come out the womb with pressures and expectations to perform and succeed. We don't get the benefit of the doubt. We don't get the room, the margin of error, like some of these other ethnicities of men. Now, I'm not shaming nobody's skin color, nobody's religion or ethnicity or nationality. Listen, that's what God gave you. But at the end of the day, we're going to keep it 100. Let's not act like the system ain't necessarily, it's not really in our favor and never has been. So what I'm saying all this is there was a lot of gatekeeping back then, and now it has gotten better, but we still live in this mentality, this slave mentality of we don't know how to show up for ourselves. Black men are always taught to show up for everybody else except for themselves. Every single time. We're taught that, yo, you gotta go succeed. You gotta go make it. You gotta go take the family in this direction. You're the leader of the community. You're the pillar of community. We're putting all of this responsibility on these black boys, these black teenagers, these young black men, up into men. And at the end of the day, we're not shaping and cultivating and guiding them into a realm in you know, when they say the village, we're not doing it. Now, in saying that, it is not on the village, it's not the village's job 100%. That same black man has to break out of that for himself. You gotta want it for yourself. You gotta want it for yourself. It's a balance, you know what I'm saying? But we have to break away. Like, we live, and I tell my male clients this all the time. 3 things that the world, family, culture, and society will tell you what a real man is. From boys to probably late 20s, early 30s. It's about how many women you can get, how much money you get, and how flashy you are with the money. If you ain't doing them 3 things, you ain't considered a real man according to society, culture, and family. Especially in our culture. Then when you kind of hit mid-30s and all that on and all that, now it's a little different. Now the perception of what a real man is, that masculinity, now it's not about how many women you can get. It's like, yo, pick one. Settle down, generational wealth, all this, that, and the third. Get that money. It's always going to be about that money. You're a real man, you better make that money. You know what I'm saying? I want a man with a provider mindset. You know what I'm saying? All that. Yeah, you want that money, you want to make that money. And then the third thing is going to be, it's not about how flashy you are. It's about what you're doing to forward that legacy and generational wealth. That's what a real man is. And nowhere in those 3 things did I say anything about emotional availability. I ain't say nothing about emotional vulnerability. I ain't say anything about emotional regulation, mental health, capacity, and all that. That gets skipped over. But you know what? For women, though, oh, yeah. Oh, girl, express yourself. Oh, that, we show up and women are supported in that. And I will say, women try to get men to open up and be more vulnerable. So shout out to the women out there who do that. But at the end of the day, it's not a woman's job to teach a man how to be vulnerable. It's not. It's up to the man to want it for himself. You are more of a man when you express yourself and you're vulnerable and you open up. Versus holding it all in, being a ticking time bomb, and then turn into the angry man. In our case, the angry black man. Always walking around angry and all this, down the third, right? Like, but, man, you better take over, Bo, before I get in my bag, yo. You know what I'm saying? Like,
No, you good. So I do want to add something. I know, though, that you just, like, mentioned it's not on the women, and it's on, like, the man themselves. So I'm thinking of going back to the home. I think also a part of it is like fathers, uncles, older brothers, older cousins to be able to model that as well.
Yeah.
Because especially like in the home, like we learn through observation and like in that modeling. So if all we see are stone faces and walls and in that grind, and like we look at like our older males as that model for us, and like, okay, this is how I am supposed to be. So going back to the home, not saying that cry every time you get upset, model that emotional availability, some of that emotional vulnerability, so like our younger boys can like see that in their homes. So they're like, okay, so this is something that I can't do. This is something I'm capable of. Because Because if they're only seeing it like from their sisters, their mothers, their aunts, they're women. They're not me. So that's okay for them. It's not so much for me if they're not seeing it being modeled.
Yeah, yeah. I think also too on that flip side is to your exact point, to piggyback off what you're saying, going back to the home. Both young boys and young girls, we both have to, kind of nurture and guide and all this, that, and the third. We know parents. There is no perfect parent. Parenting is not perfect. We're not sitting here saying that you are doing something right or wrong. But what we're saying is effort. Give the effort. Create the space, because there's a lot of times, especially for black men, black boys, teenagers, whatever. I see it all the time in my sessions. There are a lot of times where these young black boys are growing up in a world where it is 10, 20 times faster than what their parents have experienced, and they're dealing with so much more, and they're trying to express, they're trying to figure things out, because at the end of the day, they're still going through the human developmental stages and things like that, mentally, physically, emotionally. And the thing is, we need to stop weaponizing what our black men and our black boys are trying to tell us. Because let's keep it 100. We give praise to our women. And when I say our women, women in general, black, blue, green, purple, I don't care. But, we black, so we're going to say black community, black women.
Yeah.
There are a lot of times where we also weaponize that information. And we take it out on black men, too. I ain't say we, but women, not all, but there are a lot of our own black women who will sit there and weaponize it and teach the sons, you need to be a man. There are a lot of women who will take out a lot of resentment, frustration, anger. Maybe it was from how they were raised and seeing their dads and fathers. Maybe it was a situation, relationship, where they will take out, not necessarily intentionally, but subconsciously in how they show up, because they have a lot of built up nonsense, within them, and a lot of trauma, where they will try to shape and develop their son with that cold, hard exterior, because that's what they had to do to survive in their lives. And it trickles on down to that generational thing. So to your point, it does start in the home, but also that's why I said the balance. It's the dad and uncles and the cousin. It's the male piece to, yes, represent it, but ultimately that's the tag team partnership of the woman too. That's important too, because it's not just we gotta hold the men accountable just like the women too. But that also goes back to disparity of our black homes too. What I'm saying? Not showing up for our kids and stuff like that. But even if you're not a kid out there, whatever you go through, and let me speak to the black man real quick, man. What I'm saying? Let me hold you accountable, bro. Because black man to black man, okay? We got 2 black men, and we're going to talk to all the black men. Just because you may be 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, I don't care what your age is. The fact is, bro, you went through what you went through. God brought you through what you went through for a reason. God don't make mistakes. The fact is, quit crying, quit whining, figure it out. You're solution based. You're a man. You lead with logic, follow it with emotion. So what you do is you stop blaming everybody else. If you out there blaming everybody else for your problems, you don't want to take accountability. Oh, well, this was how I was raised. Bro, you're 40, you're 50, you're 60. You can't keep holding on to, well, this is all I know. Do something about it. This is why we're talking to you. Listen, bro, this is black man to black man, or black men to black man out there. Like, you are so much more. You worth it. Being a real man is being in tune, self-aware, bro. Up your game. Up your game for yourself. You can chase happiness, but we don't care about your happiness. We care about peace. We want you to have that inner peace. Because if you ain't got peace, bro, can't nobody take that away from you. You know what I'm saying? When you locked in as a black man, black woman, whatever, don't matter. Black, blue, green, purple. I don't care who you. I don't care what you are, what you look like. But that's what I'm saying. Like, you gotta lock in with your peace, man, not your happiness, man. Like, and that's. You about to get me activated, man, up in here. You know what
Cook.
like,
you cooking.
I hate getting in this mode, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying?
So let's unpack that. you cooking, and now you're like, I don't like when I'm cooking.
It's because like it just, I don't know, man. I just see so much nonsense in the world. And it's just like, man, like, no one wants to take accountability, bro. Like, it's, everybody will point the finger. Oh, he'll do this. She don't do this. She don't, like, but it's like, yo, like, coming back to the point of just the masculinity, man, start within yourself. Like, but like I said, we have to be better as a community with our children, with our, you know, our younger generation and things like that. And yeah, YNs, the younger generation, yeah, they going, yeah. I wonder why they wilding out. Cause look at their damn parents. You know what I'm saying? I ain't blaming nobody. All right, so you know, don't get me caught up. You know what I'm saying? But I'm like, yo, come on, like, keep it 100. You know what I'm saying? They have no guidance or lack of guidance. We'll say lack of guidance. And it can't just be one or two people in the community. It has to be everybody. But everybody, in order to show up for somebody else, we need to show up for ourselves. That's the whole point. That is why us as black men, we falter and we struggle. Because we are ingrained and just conditioned and indoctrinated to, yo, your only job is to protect and provide for everybody else except for yourself. If everything else is done, then when you're about 50, 60, 65, then you can start to worry about yourself because everything else is done. You have done everything else. But by then, you at the end of your lifespan, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, you done. So, it's the self-awareness piece. It's the self-awareness piece, man, and accountability. Be accountable for your own actions. Your past does not have to dictate your future, your present or your future. Get a hold on it and be a real man. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, bro. I'm gonna let you go ahead and have it. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna let you have it. I promise I ain't gonna say I ain't gonna say nothing else.
Oh no, man! You keep on cooking, man. You cooking
that? No, that's you, bro.
You cooking that fire.
I don't want to cook no more, bro. Like,
you got that tenderism. Oh man. Yeah. And with being said, that happiness, that like that word is always used as that goal. Like, I'm trying to achieve like this happiness, and like you said, like, happiness only gets you so far.
Mm-hmm.
Happiness lasts in that moment, and then once that movement's over, it's past. But that inner peace is something that you can keep with you, and it's that low burning, sustaining fuel that allow you to be like that strong man, that strong black man. Once again, a black man talking to the black men out there, and also men talking to the men out there too, because we know we have all colors of the rainbow, like watching and listening to us, and so being a strong man, it's not up to society to define like what that is for us or what that is for you as an individual. That's up to you. Like, so I know there's societal can't speak right now. Those societal pressures that sort of indoctrinate like how or what that should look like. Being a provider, being a protector, and it's not saying it's not those things, but it's more than that as well. And I think that's where you mentioned it earlier, like those shudders, like we just get like so tunneled on this is what being a strong man looks like, and then we put that pressure or we take that societal pressure and double down on ourselves, which like limits us from these things that we can be doing to like access or move towards like that peace that we want or that vitality that we want.
Mm-hmm.
And it starts like all its choices, all actions, like it starts with us. It starts with you. And so if you want to move towards like that inner peace, that's a choice that you can make. And I know I'm like saying that lightly, and I know it's a lot easier to do than it is for me to say right now, but
it's a lot
choice.
Easier to say than for you to do. Yes, easier said than done. Yeah, but yeah. I'm with you. You had to switch that up. Yeah, you had it back.
No, I reversed. I said it's harder to do than it's to say.
No, you said it's easier to do than it is to say. That's what you said.
Well, I'm gonna have to rewatch that because I don't think I said that.
Maybe I heard you differently. All right, you know what I'm saying? All right, bro, you got it.
Let me gather myself. all that being said is it starts with our actions, it starts with our choice, and we can even move towards something or we can move away from something, and that's up to us to decide. And a lot of times we decide what goes back to like what makes us feel good, what makes us happy, and sometimes that's moving us actually further away from that peace that we're trying to seek.
Mm-hmm.
And then I want to say something to like the silent sufferers, because I think even though how I phrased it is it's like the other side of the coin, but those things could exist at the same time too. You can be that strong man, and you could also be suffering in silence.
Yeah.
And I don't even know where I was going with that. I lost it.
Well, no.
ADHD.
No. You got it, bro. No, you said that you wanted to address the silent sufferers. Just because you're suffering in silence doesn't mean that you can be a strong man and still suffer in silence. Just like you can be a strong man and not suffer in silence.
Mm-hmm.
But you were speaking to it. You was about to address the silent sufferers. Come on, baby. Come on, we need you. Come on, man. You got it, bro.
All right. Yeah, for those silent sufferers, like, you're strong. Don't let that suffering like define you. I think a lot of times we get caught up in ourselves and our experiences, especially the ones that are not looking so bright, and we use that as like a defining like characteristic attribute. You know, this is just the moment that we're in. Just because we're in this dark space doesn't mean we can't be continuing moving to that brighter side.
Mm-hmm. Very well said.
Because honestly, I think life is challenges, life is adversity. So even though you may not acknowledge that, because especially like being a man, or that version of a man that is projected through like our society, we invalidate ourselves at times. We compare. Somebody has it harder than me, so I shouldn't be complaining. I'm not going through anything bad because John, Jim, Jamal, they're having it worse.
Mm-hmm.
So all that being said is just to like acknowledge that, like, even though it may not seem like. Actually, I'm gonna take that back. I'm gonna word it a lot different than what I was going to.
Okay.
Acknowledge the suffering as adversity is what we grow from. When we ignore things, that's when they pile up and build. The skeletons in the closet, as an analogy, and it only could hold so much before that door busts open. So I'm just saying, like, check in with yourselves. Don't allow the dark times to define you, but also acknowledge that these dark times are there when they occur. And I'm gonna shut up now because I feel like I'm just repeating myself.
No, I think I mean I'm right there with you. I think it speaks to just our experience as men, no matter your race, nationality, creed, culture, whatever, just men in general. We are victims of societal pressures and standards and cultural pressures and standards and all of that. So it's like it's we are molded and indoctrinated and conditioned. It is rare. It's the minority that you're going to come across, men who have done the work because they have wanted to. They were taught how to go about this. Like, we are just taught, like you said, to compare our situation to others out there, and it's like, well, you know what? It could always be worse, which is true. It could always be worse. But prime example. Obviously, I mean, if y'all couldn't tell by now, obviously I'm Muslim, so you know what I'm saying. So I'm gonna bring up. God says, Almighty God says in the Quran, you know what I'm saying? Like, do you think that you say you will believe in me without being tested like those who came before you? And basically that means is like, yes, this life, this world, it's going to have hardship. You're going to suffer. You're going to be tested. It doesn't mean that it has to be a punishment. It's perspective in how you show up and how you respond and how you handle it. Obviously, the resources are there. Community, mental health, us, therapy, things like that, educating yourself, finding different outlets, to stimulate self physically, mentally, emotionally, things like that. Like, these things and outlets are there. But just even if you were the guy who keeps everything inside and bottles it up, or if you're the guy who expresses and is self-aware and all this, that, and the third, that don't mean that you ain't going to deal with hardship. That don't mean you're not going to deal with, trauma of life. Everybody goes through ups and downs. No one is floating high. I don't care whether you got all the money in the world, the fame and all that. Look at the celebrities. Look at all the crap they deal with and go through. So I say all this to say, like, to your point, CK, utilizing these moments of test or these struggles of life, it's about perspective. Yes, you may have had abusive parents. Yes, you may have had a terrible upbringing. Yes, you may have had a rough childhood. Yes, you may have never known your mother or your father. Yes, you may have been adopted. Yes, you may have, went through abuse, physical, sexual, emotional, verbal, all of that. Yes, but the fact is, God don't hate you. I'm going to be honest. You probably hate yourself more than God does. The fact that you're still breathing means that you have an opportunity to power through it. Use it. Look at all that crap you've been through. Men, I'm talking to the men, especially the men, but the women too, but especially the men right now. Look at all of the crap that you dealt with. Black, blue, green, purple. Don't care your skin color. Look at all the crap you've been through and look where you are now. Yes, things could be better. Absolutely. You'll never be satisfied. That's just being human. But look how yes, you're a survivor. Yes, look at your resiliency. Look at your strength. And now that you recognize that, do better. Chip away. Look, me and CK don't need you to hit a home run. We don't need you to go hit a home run and try to do your best and all that. Excuse me. Let me take that back. We want you to do your best. We don't need you to hit a home run in your life. We don't need you to be perfect in every single thing you do. You'll never be perfect. That's just being human. But the fact is, all we're trying to get you to realize, white man, black man, Indian man, Asian man, Puerto Rican man, Mexican man, Hispanic man, Jamaican man, whoever out there, all we're trying to get you to realize is that, pick up the bat, walk up the plate, and start swinging. If you strike out, cool, bounce back, keep swinging. If you hit a home run, cool, Don't get arrogant. Don't get cocky. Yeah, you've been blessed to hit that home run. Keep going. Keep swinging. That's what life is about. God placed you in your own journey to teach you a lesson, bro. You know what I'm saying? Bro, I'm out here preaching now. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, I'm just saying, like, yo, look, you even if you don't believe in God, believe in a higher power, don't matter. Like, yo, your life is not by random. You're stronger. Listen, dude out there I'm talking to, you're stronger than you give yourself credit for. You are so much, you are valuable. And that's what I'm saying. To be a real man, yo, you have to be in tune with yourself. And if you're in tune with yourself, you never stop working on yourself until your last breath. That peace that we spoke to, me and CK spoke to, and it's subjective. You have to define what peace is to you and you alone. What peace is for me is different from CK. What peace is for him is different for me. You know what I'm saying? Or whoever else out here. You are too valuable. We need you. But the fact is, before you can show up for your community, your village, your family, whoever, you got to show up for yourself. Got to. You know what I'm saying? Because it don't work. Same goes for the women out there. Listen, y'all excellent. Y'all show up for everybody else. You got to show up for yourself, though, too. And that goes for anybody, so... Now it's my turn. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to be quiet. My preaching is over. My sermon is over.
No, man.
Yeah.
Just cooking, man.
Yeah, listen, bro. You know,
hey, can't keep you out the kitchen. We can't keep you out the kitchen.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
hey, but that's good though. Good stuff. And I think I'm not even going to try to top that off. So I just want to thank everybody for tuning in, listening to us. Hopefully you took some nuggets from here that you can use and apply. But once again, this is not treatment, education, and entertainment.
We just talking. That's all it is. We just busting it up.
Just unpacking.
Yeah, but we black and unpack. We just unpacking. That's all it is, exactly. Man. But. Nah, we love y'all, man. We appreciate y'all, man. It's all love and respect. But yeah, man, hit us up, man. Talk to us. We should ask the damn audience, man. Shoot, they should give us topics to talk about. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I'll be firing off you know what I'm saying? So, but nah, it's all love, it's all respect. Well, yeah, man, it's good. It's good to see you, brother. It's always good to see you, man.
Likewise. Until next time.
Hey, till next time, brother. You know what I'm saying?
Yep, let's do it.
Deuces, bro.
All right, later. Take care, everybody.